Hey, how's it going, everybody? I thought we could just sit back. Um, I like when I can just kind of sit back and talk, and I don't need some kind of fancy um, setup sometimes. Um, I know it's nice to do a fancy like role play or anything like that, but especially if you're early on to this channel, I love to just sit down and ramble for a long period of time. Um, but besides the point, I thought I would do another sort of crazy Gunshop stories. Um, Again, probably a good 99% of the time, most people are pretty normal. They're either just getting into firearms, and you're just kind of um, showing them the basics, figuring out what fits good in their hand, what they like, um, or they already kind of know what they want and pretty experienced with things. But um, there's that 1%. There's like no in between. Um, I've talked to a couple other people in the firearm industry, and really, from what I'm seeing, and just again, there's no in between. You're either perfectly normal or like absolutely insane. There's no in between whatsoever. Um, so, just a couple little stories to share with you. Um, it's always something. It really is. I'm going to start off with a couple Gunbroker stories. If you go on my website, there's a link to my Gunbroker. Typically, I just post either like a new gun that I bought for somebody and they never came and picked it up, or traditionally it's a bunch of used guns that I think if I was later on in, I'm only, what, 7 months in right now. I think if I was later on and had a lot more money, it would be a different story. But right now, I don't want a bunch of used guns sitting on the shelf, if you know what I mean. Like right now, I have it's a Shadow Systems CR920 Combat. They don't make this particular model anymore. It's worth about $500. That's what I have it out there for. Um, is it nice to have a used Shadow Systems in there? Sure. But I'd rather have that $500 in the account that I could use towards buying, a new handgun or a new rifle or just more stuff for the shop. So a lot of the times I just put things on Gunbroker, and I could, I could put it out there for like absolute top dollar maximum, maximum bid, but I don't want to do that. Again, I'd rather have just a quick turnaround. The case in point, a gentleman brought in it was an FNX 9mm. They don't make it anymore, but it was actually in really good shape. However, around the trigger guard was missing like a chunk of material. It's kind of weird. I don't know what happened. Clearly, he put it somewhere, and it got, like I said, there was a little chunk of the trigger guard missing. But other than that, the gun was in great shape. I gave him $250 for it, and literally that night someone walked in. I could have thrown it out there for $400, heck, maybe even $500. But again, I want quick turnarounds. I don't want a bunch of used guns just sitting. I want to make a profit. So I just threw it out there, same exact day for $350, made $100. Again, nice quick turnaround. That's what I like. So the case in point, and where I'm going with this, is there's two guns that I'm going to start off with. It was a Colt Delta Elite in 10mm. Beautiful, beautiful gun. Brand new, these things are going for like $1,300-$1,400, something in that ballpark. This was a little older. Had a few minor wear marks on it. Nothing crazy. Just what you'd expect for. I think this one was made probably early 2000s or so. It's hard to check because what they did was they switched out the frame of the gun, the serialized part, with a Caspian frame, which is an aftermarket frame. And it's sort of a blessing and a curse that they did that. So if you know anything about Colts, a lot of people, they like the collectability of it. They want it with its original case. They want it with the original frame, all matching, serial numbers, and they want it all original. However, if you're going to shoot it and enjoy it, this Caspian frame is made out of a much more durable material. It is very nice. It was a $350 upgrade. It's not the original frame anymore, but it's this beautiful, great upgrade that, depending on who you talk to, is way better than the Colt factory frames. But if you're seeing where I'm going with this, technically the frame is the serialized part, so it is no longer legally a Colt Delta Elite anymore. All they did was switch out the frame, but since that's the gun, technically it is now a Caspian 1911. So I would you have the option on there where you can, message me any kind of questions or whatever, and I'll message you back. And I got all kinds. I put it in the description as the title of it was Colt Delta Elite with Caspian frame. And I even explained pretty much everything I just said to you in the description. And man, you'd be surprised how many people message you saying, "Oh, so technically this isn't a Colt anymore." And I was, yes, technically you're right, yes. But I put that, you would be surprised how many people, I don't know if it was just to get under my skin or just to, who knows, but there were so many people like, "This isn't a Colt anymore, you should call it a Caspian 1911. But it just so many people that had no desire to buy it, no desire to inquire about it. They just wanted to point out that it wasn't a Colt anymore. And then I had one gentleman. This Colt, in my opinion, is just, it's cursed. I had one guy, he messaged me. I just do 7-day cycles, so every 7 days, if it hasn't sold, it just relists. So it had been through a couple 7-day cycles on there. And even with the Caspian frame, again, it was a $350 frame. All the other parts are there to include a case. Realistically, that gun, even with the not original frame, should have been upwards of $1,000. In my opinion, just from what I'm reading. Like $900,000, something like that. Again, I just want a quick turnaround on it, so I threw it out there for $700. And the problem I'm learning with that is a lot of people look at it and they say, "Oh, $700, something must be wrong with it." So then I got tons of people messaging me, "What's wrong with this gun? There's no reason it should be $700. What are you hiding? What's wrong with it?" And it's just, I actually had to change the description of it to say, nothing is wrong with the gun mechanically, everything's great, just looking to sell it. I mean, so many people would message me, "Yeah, you're hiding something, there's no reason this should be $700. And I'd always message them back saying, "Nope, it's in perfect mechanical condition, functions great. If you think it's so cheap, then bid on it." And they never would. They just wanted to something's wrong with it, you need to tell us what it is. And I was like, no, mechanically it is flawless. But again, just wanted a quick turnover and look what you got. So after going through all those messages on this Colt, I got one message saying the guy was out in the Midwest somewhere, I don't remember. But he sent me a message saying, "Hey, I'm sitting on several $1,000s worth of silver coins." I guess they were actually, he said they were, I guess they can come in an authentication little packaging or whatever it is, like you would a Pokemon card. But he's like, yeah, I have $700. I'll give it to you. I will mail you out all these silver coins. I think they were going for like 25 a pop. Whatever the current, he was like, whatever the current rate of silver is, I'll mail you out all these coins, and can we do a trade like that? And if you know the logistics of that, I obviously said no. Basically, he was going to ship me the coins. I would have to find someone in my local area that buys silver coins, and then I also have to hope that they would give me full. So let's say he really did it with true $700 worth of silver. Whoever I'm selling them to is probably not going to give me $700 because they want to make some profit. So I would. I said, tell you what, if you have, and the other thing is, I don't know if they're actually truly legitimately silver. I mean, he could do whatever he wants to with them, but there's no way for me to really verify that. I guess theoretically he could have shipped them to me. I could have had them tested, and if they were silver, I could have sold them. But again, the gun is really cheap, and I don't have, like, my upload schedule's been crappy recently because I just don't have the time. Just so busy with running a business. I don't have time on my one off day a week to go out and find someone that's willing to buy some silver. So I told him, I said, if you legitimately have silver worth $700, then why don't you take that money? Because you'd also have to ship a big box of silver, which would weigh a little bit. I said, why wouldn't you take that, find someone in your area and sell it to, and then you'll have $700 to buy the gun. He never responded to that. So I don't know if it was a scam or if he wanted me to do all the work for him. I don't know. And then the other guy. So again, this is just one. This whole story here is just one gun. And a lot of the times I have like 10 to 20 guns on Gunbroker at any time, receiving tons of messages. So I had another guy after him say, hey, are you willing to do a layaway on the gun? Now, my in-store policy for layaways is 30 days, 25% down, if the gun's under $1,000. If it's over that, I can work something out with you. But my problem is I had a lot of people coming in. It would be like a $300 gun, and they would be waiting the full 30 days to come pay it off. So people just sort of use and abuse the layaway system. I had it at one point at 45 days, but again, people don't come in like on a reasonable time frame to pay off the gun. They'll wait till like the 45th day or the 30th day and then be like, oh, well, I guess I need to do this now. So people abuse my layaway. This guy was suggesting I do a 90-day layaway at like 10% down, and I was just, and again, this is now over Gunbroker. This guy's in a whole nother state from me. So for me to figure out a way to get a payment every week for 90, or 2 weeks for 90 days, like, the logistics of that is insane to me. I don't offer it on Gunbroker. And frankly, if it takes you 90 days to buy a $700 gun, I think you need to kind of reevaluate your choices. If I can't afford something, and I get it. I get sort of everything about, but if you're telling me it's going to take you 90 days to pay off this gun, you probably shouldn't have it. That's just my 2 cents with things. Again, I have people all the time that come in. I had a $300 Canic that somebody put on layaway for 30 days, and he's about to come up on his 30th day soon. It's just, I'm about to just stop offering layaways, to be honest, but, or for a gun like that, like for a $300 gun, maybe I just don't offer layaways anymore. But the point is, this guy wanted me to do some kind of online layaway program, and I didn't respond to him. Again, I got my normal business emails to handle, my orders, my normal stuff, And then I get, dozens of Gunbroker messages a day about things. I just didn't even respond to him. So this guy, what he does is he takes and makes a second account, messages me again saying, hey, what's the condition of the gun? Is it mechanically working? I respond to him, yes, it works great, just looking to get rid of it. He says, I don't know if you remember me, but I messaged you a couple of days ago about a layaway, say 90% down, or 90 days, 10% down. Would you do something like that? And again, I'm just so inundated with stuff to do. I didn't respond to him again. I get asked all the time, hey, can I send you an offer? The one that killed me. I had a Glock on Gunbroker, and this guy messaged me like probably 5 times, like, can I send you an offer? And finally, I just responded to him. I said, why not just send me the offer with the message? If you want to send an offer, then send the offer. Stop asking me if you can send the offer, and just send the offer. And of course, he absolutely lowballed the. It was stupid. Can I send you an offer? Just send it to me. But why do you have to? I could have seen the offer and either accepted or declined it by now. But you want to keep playing these. It's just a mess with Gunbroker. It's a great source, and I love when things go smoothly on there. But it's just, so this guy, yes, he made a second account to message me, seeing if I would do this layaway still. I didn't respond to that one. Again, I'm dealing with my own customers just walking in the store, shipping out other Gunbroker orders. I'm receiving orders from just all over the place. I don't have time. I really don't. So and then he responded like a day later. He's like, why are you ignoring me? This is, I don't remember what he said. He was just, why are you ignoring me? The fact that you had to make a second Gunbroker, to try to, I didn't respond to your first one, so you made a second one to see if I would respond to it. Just absolute messes. So I have a few more stories here real quick. I have a gentleman that came to me. Again, I get 1 day off a week, which is Monday for me, and I don't want to think about the gun store at all on my Monday off. I just want to try to relax, unwind, play some video games, and occasionally I have to run some money to the bank, or I do have to do some stuff for the business, but I don't want to think about it, okay? So I had a gentleman come in, and again, where there's no in between on like the kind of crazy scale here. And so he said he was over in Maryland. He was using the bathroom at a gas station, and he took his gun off, put it on the toilet, went to the bathroom, and left. He left his gun on the toilet. So somebody at the gas station called the police. The police got it. They did a serial number search on him and found the guy. But he's a Delaware resident. So I'm just hearing it from his perspective. They won't let him come and pick up his gun because it's in Maryland and he's not a Maryland resident, is what he's telling me. So they told him that, hey, how we have to do this is a gun store in Maryland has to pick up the gun. They will take it back to their store, ship it to a gun store in Delaware, and then I can give him the gun. I told him logistically that's kind of a mess, but that's how apparently they told him to handle it. And I told him when he came in for this, as he had a police report and everything, it looked legitimate. But I said, I told him, I'm like, good luck finding a gun store that's willing to, either the owner or they'd have to send an employee to go pick up your gun. I'm sure they would charge you for that. Take it back to their store. They're going to charge you to ship it. I don't know what kind of fee they'd be. That's up to the store, but I've heard in Maryland most stores are around $40 for shipping and stuff like that. Um, like or for like the background checks and transfers. So I would assume they would charge you like $40 to ship it. Lord knows what they would charge for them to send an employee to get the gun and bring it back to the store. And then when it comes to my store, my background check and my transfer fee is the cheapest in the whole state. I think that's why he came to me at just $20. So you're looking at least probably 60. The other and whatever that other store wants to charge you to get the gun. I mean, I bet you. I told him, I'm like, I bet you they're gonna charge you like 40 or so to get the gun, 40 to ship it. You're looking at like $100 for all this, and I'm like, it's crazy that the store wouldn't, or that the police department wouldn't let you just go over and pick it up. So he's like, oh man, that's crazy. That's I told him, like, call the police department, see if there's something they're willing to do or whatever, but that's just they're this whole thing is not going to be cheap for you. I'm telling you right now, they're going to charge a lot for you. So then he's like, oh, well, is there any chance you could just go over and pick it up? Now, again, if you notice my upload schedule, I haven't been uploading recently just because I am just so busy. And sometimes on my one day off, man, I don't want to think about the gun store. I don't want to think about YouTube. I just want to relax and pretty much do nothing all day. So I said respectfully, I get one day off a week, and on that one day off, I'm not driving an hour, because it's over by the Bay Bridge, and I'm in Camden, Delaware. I'm not driving an hour there to pick up the gun and then driving an hour back. So I'm looking at like 2 hours worth of driving. I said, I appreciate what they're, like, the way they want you to do it's going to be expensive, but you're looking at like 2 hours worth of gas for me. That time and convenience thing. I'm like, I told him, I said, there's no amount of money that would make me willingly go over there and pick up this gun for you. I just said, no offense, just on my one off day a week, I'm not gonna do that. And he's like, okay. So supposedly he's trying to find, I guess they gave him the information for one of the gun stores, but like I said, there's no way, there's no amount of money. Well, there's always a amount of money, but there's no realistic number that would make me want to, on my Monday off. So I work on Saturdays, so I like to give myself a two day weekend. So Sunday and Monday's off, but Sunday's usually me catching up with things, and I don't really even consider that an off day, because usually I'm still doing things for the shop. I'm wrapping up last week's orders, and maybe even making some orders for this week. I'm still doing a lot of stuff at the shop, so my Monday's my one day where I can just relax and just sort of be free from the shop. I'm sure someday I'll be able to afford employees, but I'm far from that right now. So there's just no real, on my Monday off, that I'd hop in the car, drive 2 hours, and deal with, I don't know how easy the police department's going to be. I'm sure they're going to have a lot of hoops to jump through. And again, he didn't even that wasn't even an option that the Maryland police offered him, was for a Delaware gun store to pick it up. They said it had to be a Maryland gun store, but like I said, there's really no realistic amount of money to make me want to do that. I have no idea if a Maryland gun store is even going to willingly do that themselves. So I don't know what this guy's going to do, but it's crazy. But I love it. So because I'm off on Mondays, I get asked all the time about that. It's just, hey, could you pick this gun up for me, like for this guy? But I get asked all the time, like, oh, I got a Gunbroker order coming in on Monday. I know it's your one day off, but can you come into the store, pick it up, and transfer it to me? I get asked that, like, a lot. And I tell people, I'm like, how's my business any different from yours in the sense that would you come in on one of your off days to do stuff? And some people, that's no big deal for them. But like I said, my Sundays my Sundays pretty much all day spent around a computer, with orders and just making sure everything's good, up to date, you know, prior week orders, the following week orders, paying bills, and it's just running a business is just crazy. It really is. It's a lot of fun. Uh, Talking guns all day and selling guns, and it's a lot of fun, but it is a lot of work. Um, so I don't know about other people, but for me, I think it's crazy to ask someone on their off day, especially when I'm open on Tuesday. So I'm open the very next day. So what's one day gonna do for you? But I get asked all the time. Oh yeah, just open the store up for me, just for me. And I also tell people, I'm like, look, if FedEx is delivering your gun, I mean, literally, I'll have FedEx sometimes pull up at like 11 o'clock when I open, or sometimes they'll be anywhere from like 11 to like, I've had them as late as like 4 or 5, depending on how busy they are. I'm like, there's no set time that it's arriving. Even if it says like, we'll deliver by 11 p.m. or 11 a.m., if they're busy and they go past that, it just updates from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. end of business day. So it could be like any time. Um, just craziness. And I guess the last one I'll hit you with real quick. I had a guy, he put a gun on layaway, and he was actually really good at making the payments. He wanted to build up his arsenal, get a bunch of other guns, and so finally day comes where he's paid off his layaway, and he tells me that he was a felon, which we're just setting off a bunch of red flags here. But recently the governor for my state has been issuing a lot of pardons, and I've actually dealt with several of those pardons. They have them, usually people bring them in, and it even says on the 4473, if you've been pardoned for your felony, ooh, got something in my eye here, if you've been pardoned for your felony, that you can actually check no, you've never been charged with a felony before. So I've actually dealt with a few of these, and well, sometimes wearing contacts it's always something fun. So it says no, you can actually answer that. So he did, and he says he has his pardon, and we went through the background check, and it came back denied. So with everything he's telling me, I can only go off of what you're telling me. And I'm like, look, if you're telling me you have your pardon, he just claimed he didn't have it on him at the time. I said, look, if you're telling me you have your pardon, then there's a phone number you can either call, or you can go on the NICS denial website, and you can file an appeal. You can say, hey, this is wrong that I got denied. Can we get this overturned? I said, if you have a pardon, there's no reason this should come back denied. So I gave him that, and he left, and then I think this was on a Saturday, and then on the next Tuesday that I opened, he was in there like first thing in the morning. He's like, and again, the NICS check is through the FBI, and I gave him the NICS phone number. So I gave him the FBI's phone number. This guy comes in, and I called him out on it quickly. He's like, yeah, can I just get some kind of refund for it? I called the state police, and they told me that assault weapons are banned in Delaware, so that's why I got denied. And I looked at him and I said, either you're lying to me, or I just said, like, look, everything you just said is a total lie. I said, first of all, I gave you the FBI's number. The state police don't do background checks in Delaware, so they have no idea what's going on. I said, you either didn't call them, or again, they don't know anything about background checks. They're the state police. They don't handle that. So I said, look, either you lied that you called them, or you're just lying. I said, first of all, in Delaware, just I can sell assault weapons as long as they have bullet buttons on them. As long as they have some kind of device that makes it harder for the magazine to be removed. And I said, first of all, I sell tons of assault weapons. You know, assault weapons, no such thing, but I sell tons of them. So and second of all, when you do a background check, it doesn't come up with what gun you're selling. All it says is, I'm selling you a handgun, a long gun, or a receiver. So I told him, I said, look, when I do the check, I just put that I'm selling you a long gun. That could be a shotgun. That could be a little 22, like Ruger 1022. That could be a Barrett 50 cal. I mean, there's no way to distinguish what that gun is on the background check. I said, it's not the gun that's getting background checked, it's you. So I said, you do not have a pardon, or you're lying to me about something here. And he never had a response for it. He's like, nah, that's what the state police told me. So I said, that's not how that works, buddy. But at that point, more than likely he's still a felon and he's lying about his pardon. But at that point, I'm just done with you. You can't be a customer. You're a felon. You cannot be a customer here. So I do a 10% restock fee. So I gave him some of his money back and sent him on his way. But I told him, like, I can only go off of what you're telling me, and you've been lying like this whole time about everything. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. But yeah, if you're thinking about opening a gun store, there's always tons of fun things going on. But hope you like that little ramble session, like 30 minutes worth. Good lord. But it's always something. Always. I bought a brand new gun. I think I said this one before, but I bought a brand new gun for somebody. They found like a little scratch in the bolt carrier group, so they're like, this thing's definitely used. Please buy me another one. And I said, this is brand new. I'm happy to show you the invoice where I bought it brand new from Lipsy's. But what's me ordering? This one's brand new. What's me ordering another one gonna do? It's gonna be the exact same thing. It's like they don't want to listen to logic. It's crazy. But for the most part, I have great customers that come in like weekly or bi-weekly or whatever, once a month, and always buy something, or they're just fun to chat. Most people are just, they come into a gun store just to chat with me, and I'm fine with that. But it's always something. So I guess I'll leave this video here. If you want to hear anything else about the gun store, more stories, more whatever, or you fascinated with any aspects of a gun store, just let me know, and I'm happy to share them. And yeah, I guess I'll leave you guys there. Peace.